Look, if there's one thing that I really like, that I love, is a good finesse. even if I don't like agree with the circumstances, I'll still be impressed if the finesse is good enough. Prisoner freed from court by pretending to be a man who is due for release. Alan Galbraith claimed to be Stuart Gallagher when the name was called by security staff at Glasgow Sheriff Court. That's brilliant. A prisoner was accidentally freed from custody at a court after pretending to be a man who was due to be released. Alan Galbraith claimed to be Stuart Gallagher when the name was called by security staff at Glasgow Sheriff Court on January the 30th, 2023. Galbraith, who was allowed to exit the court with the real Stuart Gallagher's belongings, including £120 in cash. Yeah. The error was later noticed, but Galbraith was not traced until the following day when he was arrested. Even though he managed to finesse his way out, I guarantee you he went back to his known address. And that's how he was just caught the next day. Galbraith pled guilty at Glasgow Sheriff Court to a string of charges, including fraud and theft. He was jailed on Wednesday for 29 months by Sheriff Michael Hanlon. The court heard that Galbraith had stolen a purse, a laptop, jewellery, and a mobile phone from two students at their dorms on January the 27th, 2023. Galbraith was traced after one of the victims gave a location to police on the Find My Phone app. Amazing that the police actually went and got the phone back. I know multiple people that's happened to, and even when they've given them an exact address, the police don't do anything about it. So we helped her out. This We just rounded up a few boys and knocked on the door and just went phone. It was a black guy. He handed the phone over pretty quick. Yeah, Galbraith appeared at Glasgow Sheriff Court on January 30th in relation to the matters having been remanded in custody. Just for clarity, we didn't hurt the guy. We didn't do anything to him. We just said phone, and then he handed the phone over. That was it. The police wouldn't do it, so we did. There's going to be You're going to see an awful lot of that in the future. Prosecutor Jeremy O'Neill says while he was in line at the charge bar to be processed, a member of security staff called the name Stuart Gallagher. At this point, Galbraith stepped forward and confirmed himself to be Stuart Gallagher. He was taken to the desk at the bar where he confirmed his name to be Stuart Gallagher. The actual Stuart Gallagher was to be released from court. I've never been in a Glasgow Sheriff Court, in the Coatbridge Sheriff Court, which I've been in a few times. I think they've got two holding cells. No, they've got three. They've got one big cell where they pretty much keep everyone, and two other wee cells for someone who's either very dangerous or someone who just needs a little bit of a timeout. Or it's special cases, like if someone's a known pedo or something like that, they're not going to put them in the cell with all of us because because but yeah, so I'm amazed that they must have multiple cells, because the real Stuart Gallagher would have stood up and went, no, it's me actually. So it must have been multiple cells. Security prepared Stuart Gallagher's possessions, which were then given to Galbraith. Mr. O'Neill added Galbraith signed the bail papers belonging to Stuart Gallagher, and he was allowed to exit the court while still in possession of the items, which included £120 in cash. The security officer later realised his mistake and informed the police. Galbraith, because the actual Stuart Gallagher would have been sitting in there like, what the fuck? At the end of the day, getting loaded onto the Reliance van, like, I was supposed to be getting released. What the hell's going on? Galbraith was initially unable to be traced, and checks were carried out with his known associates. He was eventually picked up the following day at 5:30 p.m. in the city centre's Argyle Street, where he was arrested. Right. Given the time of day and Argyle Street and the criminal history, I've got a feeling Argyle Street. I've got a feeling our man here is a heroin addict, and he's one of the local homeless guys that hangs around Glasgow. I've probably seen him before. The court heard of an earlier incident when Galbraith was caught inside a flat in the city's Dumbarton Road. When confronted by the owner, Galbraith claimed he was a KFC delivery driver and stated, "You left your door open." In another incident, Galbraith was challenged by another homeowner who caught him trying to force his door open. Galbraith said, "Have you ordered a pizza before leaving?" Slices of pizza were later found in the close of the property, which contained Galbraith's DNA. His DNA was also found on a mobile phone left at a property where he had taken a laptop, a games console, and bottles of aftershave. Right. So I've got the feeling the guy's a heroin addict and he's a bit of a junkie. That's why he's going around robbing everywhere all the time. But the fact is, like, heroin addicts, they aren't the smartest. They aren't the smartest. We actually had one trying to break into here. Yeah, we had a guy try to break into the building. He never got our studio, but we got him on like every single camera, and we know what the guy looks like. So I mean, the police aren't doing anything about it because that's just them. But we're keeping an eye out for the guy. It's just like I said, if the police aren't going to do it, and everybody else will. We never get robbed. Other parts of the building got robbed. Luckily, we were in. We were inside the building, and when the guy came to our door and heard us inside, he ran away because he realised he wasn't alone in the building. But we caught him on all the cameras and everything. But the thing that's hilarious is in the video of him like coming up and like he was trying doors outside of our door. But when he came up to our door and was trying it, during that whole time, you can hear coming from my office, real human being, like pure playing out the door, and it scared them off, which was quite funny. But yeah, the guy's obviously a heroin addict, which is why he's robbing everybody. I've probably seen this guy before because all the heroin addicts in Glasgow are very noticeable. You know, we don't have as many like mentally deranged homeless drug addicts like Democrats have in their cities, where they all just kind of mesh together. Like some of our junkies are kind of local celebrities where you recognise them and you get to know them after a while. But still, even though he's obviously not a smart man or a good man, I do appreciate a good finesse.